One thing will be interesting for the Niners is like when Seattle lost week 1 and then they were playing the Rams, or excuse me, they were playing the Lions the next week. I'm like, God, are they going to start 0-2? And now all of a sudden they win that Lions game. They play the Panthers.
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to be 2-1.
Right.
The Rams play the Bengals this week. Burrow's probably injured. Yeah, I mean,
Burrow is injured. He might play, but he's hurt. He aggravated his calf, John.
Schefter dropped one of those, like, it's possible to imagine him not playing this. Like, he knows. Like, this guy's probably not playing. I think the line dropped by, like, 4 points. You know, the Bengals a week ago were huge favorites against the Rams. I got the Rams winning that game if Burrow ain't playing, right, with McVay and Stafford and Puka operating the way they are. So all of a sudden you look up, Seattle and the Rams are 2-1, and I think we'd have to acknowledge, like, they're real teams. Like, especially in the NFC. Like, they're 9. If Stafford's going to be healthy like this with McVay and Seattle, who you just go back to week 1, Geno's numbers were worse than you watched him. He wasn't as bad as you thought he was once you watched the game. Like, they're a real team. And, like, those two teams are just, the Niners are better and should win the division by several points. But, like, they're just two teams that I could just see lingering. Like, if you're 6-1, they might be 5-2. You know, it's like, they got obviously Super Bowl winning coaches, two of the highest paid coaches. Stafford's better than Geno, but and in theory, Seattle has a lot of talent. I guess my point on this is I just think we could look up and both teams could be like 4-2 in a couple weeks, and we all viewed, you know, Seattle as like a wild card team, but the Rams were going to be kind of like the Cardinals. That might not be the case.
You look up and you've lost to the Cowboys, and all of a sudden you don't really have a lead in the division, right?
Well, remember the one. Now, granted, Russell was the quarterback, but the 1 year in 19, they're fucking 8-0, and it's like they look back and Seattle's 7-1.
All of a sudden, you need Dan Buns to win you the game at the end of the year. Well, I do think my take on what you just said is that 2 weeks into the season, the NFC is not clearly the inferior conference the way we thought it would look initially, right? The way we thought it would look was, and you know, you thought the Lions were going to be good. I didn't think they'd be anything special. Clearly, Jordan Love, I shouldn't say clearly. So far, Jordan Love looks like he's capable. The Packers, they're 1-1. Like, it's just. Meanwhile, you look up at the AFC, and the
Lions do have one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, it's
like they have a dominant offense.
Whether I'm not ready to say you were right, I was wrong, but right now you are looking way more right than me on that one. But then you look at, like, the Jets are just not going to be a factor really in the AFC. The AFC South, I don't know what you think of the Jags. I think they're not really truly a factor. The Chargers are 0-2, and there's rumors about Jim Harbaugh. Even Kansas City lost a game, but Kansas City will be fine.
Was that like a Reddit rumor, or was that a real rumor? Because I clicked on it.
It's one of those that I'm not sure. Do you know? It's believable, even if it's made up. Put it this way. If you made it up, you will eventually be right. Harbaugh will be interested in that job. So even if it's made up, it will turn out to be true. Put it that way.
What about Belichick there next year? Belichick and keep Kellen Moore.
Belichick.
That's not a rumor. I made that up.
Yeah. Well, I'd say give me Harbaugh if given the choice, but Belichick there would be fun too. My point is that the NFC is it is top heavy still, and being the 1 seed's really going to matter, not just for home field, but like I think of the 3 teams, somebody is going to have to beat 2 of them. Somebody's going to have to beat the Cowboys and the Eagles, or the Eagles and the Niners, or the Cowboys and the Niners. Or like, you don't want to be the one that's got to win 2 of those games. That's why you want the 1 seed, because you don't want to have to beat the Cowboys and the Eagles.
But here's the other thing you were just saying. Part of it was like, God, the AFC better get the 1 seed because it's got all these star quarterbacks, all these $45 million guys. Say what you want. Like, if the Rams end up going 9-8, like, they're a team that it's like you just want to play Stafford and McVay in a playoff game, or the Rams have the number 2 offense in the league. Like, or excuse me, I meant the Lions. What if the NFC actually has 6-7 like real teams?
Yeah, I think they actually maybe I don't know if they have 7, but I think right now they've got Washington is 2-0, and like we know they play defense, and Sam Howell doesn't look bad, and maybe Bieniemy's a good coordinator. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little deeper than it looked before. Just now, NFC South, whatever. But like you texted me last night, Saints can play defense, right?
Well, the other thing, because Alvin beat up the guy after the club at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
he's
4 years ago.
I didn't quite understand why Taysom Hill. They were doing a little rotation It was just for him to run the ball. I guess when he has a certain amount of carries, they're 12-1. And someone DM'd me was basically saying that, well, a huge part of it is they're basically their practice squad running back. They have some running back injuries. They just needed him, and he can't just really play running back. You have to like snap him the ball. He's kind of a weird player that way.
Okay.
So it's they had to use his carries more than they're like doing the Drew Brees, Taysom Hill quarterback thing. There was a play last night, direct snap to Taysom Hill. It was in the red zone, probably like a 5-yard line. He takes off on like a sweep. They put Derek out at wide receiver. Did you see this play?
No.
To clearly take the corner out with Derek. The corner bites to go. Derek goes to the end zone, hand up, but they got to Taysom Hill so fast, it would have been wide open. That's something to keep an eye on.
All right.
If I was the 49ers, I might steal that play.